Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have something I am super excited for. This is the X-Men 97 Bishop. This has been a wave I've been super excited for ever since it was announced. Pretty much everybody in this wave looks amazing, and from what I've seen online, everyone looks pretty good. Nothing too majorly wrong with anybody. They all look pretty amazing, especially that Magneto, who I really need to get. Unfortunately, I was only able to find two of the characters, and I really want to get Rogue, and I really want to get Gambit, but the only ones I found were Bishop and Wolverine, which out of the bunch, those are two pretty decent characters to get your hands on, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I do really want to get that Rogue, and especially Gambit. And then I can get my hands on Magneto. He was actually there. I just didn't have enough for 3 action figures this time around. Just got my hands on 2 of them. But yeah, pretty excited with what I got here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with the front of the box, you have this nice window here. This is, of course, the classic packaging. So you have this nice window here showing off the figure. You have the artwork right here on the side of the box. The artwork of all the other characters up there at the top, I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, Gambit is kind of obscured. There's all the other characters in the wave. I hope we get another wave announced soon, because there's so many characters we need to get caught up on. We need Cyclops, we need Xavier, we need Jean Grey. We need so many characters, and one wave just isn't enough. So that's the front of the box. If you turn it around, of course, there is no side of the box, but on the back of the box you have Bishop, whose head is getting cut off, and then the red light makes it harder to see. But yeah, Bishop right here, all the stuff he comes with, and then everybody else in the line. Everybody looks pretty good. Like I said, they all look fairly decent. I'm a big fan of this art style that they're going with here, the more cartoony art style, and it really looks amazing on the figures themselves. So and then we're back to the front of the box, so we can go ahead and transition to the figure. Okay, so this is pretty much everything you get. Obviously, you don't get too much. For some reason, whenever there's a figure released in this retro style packaging, it doesn't come with a lot of accessories, and I'm not quite sure why. But you do get these 2 trigger fingers, 2 weapon holdy, grabby type hands. Of course, both are for the left and for the right, so they can hold his gun. And then on the actual figure itself, you just have a more neutral, just kind of static holding the gun type hand. Then you have this nice big gun right here, which looks pretty decent, pretty cool. Very 90s type gun, where they made it look a little bit more kid-friendly. As weird as it is to say for a kid show, they wanted it to look a little less like a gun and a little more like a Star Wars pistol type thing, something a little less believable, I think, is what they were going for. I know I watched like a documentary on Spider-Man, and that was like one reason why you never saw really action of any sorts. They just didn't want to have violence in their TV shows back in the day. But you know, if a character needed a gun, they always had him look a little bit more like this. And then of course you have this gigantic holster in the back of his attire here, so you can plop the gun in like so. It looks a little goofy because of the size, but it does work for the figure, and I believe maybe it comes off. It looks like it does. It's kind of held in there pretty good, though. I wouldn't want to rip anything, but it does look like it could come off. Actually, it looks like it's attached to his shoulder piece right here. So I think if you wanted to, the way it's designed, you could potentially cut that with like a knife. Not that I want to. I wouldn't want to destroy this figure or anything like that, but you could do that, and then I think you could remove this piece right here. But you know, it's not that egregious. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think it's the end of the world or anything like that. It just looks a little goofy and a little bulky, but it also looks very 90s, and it kind of fits the aesthetic of the character to have something so goofy. That's just how things were back in the day. And then you have the figure itself with this nice head sculpt. The M on his face is a little off. It's supposed to go right over his eye, and it's a little to the left, or I guess that would be the right of his face. So it looks a little off. It's not perfect, of course, but that's not the end of the world. Obviously, it's a different type of hair. I know people who like Bishop are used to him having more long hair with like dreads and a different type of look, but you know, this is a decent look, I'd say. Nice spiky hair, looks pretty decent, pretty good. It is different, but if you can live with that, I think you'll be okay. You have this nice red, or I guess orange scarf on him that doesn't look like it hinders him too much. I believe, yeah, that's glued on there, so you can't take it off. I assume it's similar to this, where if you forced it off, you could, but it really is meant to just stay on the figure. You have the nice yellow details, yellow and blue, very X-Men-y, very 90s cartoony. Obviously, that's what they're going for, but that's what it looks like. Nice off-center X right here, the black and red X design. I do love that logo. Nice boots down here. Obviously, it's based off of a cartoon, so it's not the most bombastic with its design. It's not overly designed. It's not the MCU-ification of design. So, you know, for those who like the more basic, more comic booky, simpler designs, this guy is like perfect. So that is the overall look of the character. Let's go over articulation. Starting with the head sculpt, the head can go back, not really at all, forward, maybe a little bit. Wiggle side to side, rotates all the way around like so. Fairly standard stuff right there. The arms come up to about right there. You can kind of see this does move. Unfortunately, I wish it was kind of stuck down in there so it didn't move with the arm. Just like maybe a little notch and it just kind of glued in right there. But I assume it's done that way so that when you rotate it, it kind of moves with the figure. But, you know, I don't know. It doesn't... I don't know. I don't know what they were going with there. It is supposed to move. I've seen this design before, but it's just not moving here. And I don't think it's that big of a benefit to really have that look right there. Honestly, this could have been hard plastic, and I would have preferred it. Yeah, it's really not helping the figure in any way, so I don't know why they went with that design choice. But it does rotate all the way around, of course. Just a little hindrance right there. Rotates like so. Swivel at this shirt cufflink type thing. Swivel right here. Actually, that's another thing. This is soft, so it will spin with the bicep, of course, like so. See, it works there. It just doesn't work here on his shoulder. So, you know, it works in one areas. It is double jointed, pinless. Elbows goes up to about right there. Elbows look a little wonky though, I think. A little bit of the McFarlane-esque elbows where if you bend them, they look goofy. Unfortunately, they're just too small. The elbows are too small. Wrist goes in, wrist goes out, wrist goes all the way around like so. As far as ab crunch goes, let's move these arms out of the way. Ab crunch going forward, not much at all. Backwards, maybe just a little bit more. I'd say that's fine, that's decent. Swivel at the waist, rotates all the way around like so. The belt is on the upper half, so it doesn't come with it, so that's okay with me. Of course, if you add the legs into it, he bends to about that far, which is actually pretty decent, I'd say. Nothing too amazing, but for a figure that's a little bit more on the bigger side, I'd say that's pretty decent. This guy is freaking jacked, so... pretty decent, I'd say. The legs coming up to about that high is about what I'd want out of a figure like this. Does the splits like so. Swivel at the thigh, rotates all the way around like so. Looking pretty good there. You have this weird bump right here. I think it's supposed to be a pouch, but there's no like pouch details. There's no like buttons or pockets or anything like that. So I don't know if it is a pouch. I guess we'll see in the actual show. But yeah, it's just like a weird bump right there. I'm not sure why, of course. Double jointed pinless knees. Maybe. I don't want to break the foot off, but it's not wanting to bend at the lower half of the knee. Let's try this one. There we go. That's what it should look like on the other side. Swivel, I assume. No, doesn't want to go back up. I assume swivel at the boot. Yes, swivel at the boot goes all the way around. Ankle goes down like so and up like so, and that is it. This is the Bishop figure. I think this looks absolutely wonderful. For a character I really didn't care too much about when I first saw the wave get announced, I'm like, oh, Bishop, Storm, Magneto, those are characters but I could also, like, if I don't get my hands on him right away, I won't be heartbroken about, especially since I already have a Magneto and a Storm. I basically have the 90s X-Men Storm that came in the retro wave a few years ago. It's pretty much the exact same Storm, just the current one's a little bit more updated. Especially for a figure I didn't really care too much about. This Bishop has really not blowing me away, but it's a really good figure. I really like the look of it. I really like the style, the attention to detail. It looks amazing. It looks like the 90s X-Men show. It's just I don't know anything about Bishop. I don't care too much about Bishop. He was always the character who showed up like towards the end of the show because he's that time traveling type character. No, that's Cable. I don't know anything about Bishop. I really don't know, because in the shows I watched, I grew up on X-Men Evolution, so I never really saw this character. He did show up a few times, but he really wasn't a central character, so I don't know anything about him, so I wasn't super excited about him. But now that I have him in my collection, in my hands, he impressed me. He impressed me. As of now, he's setting the standard for the entire wave, and he's got me excited for what's to come. So that's pretty good. That's pretty exciting for this figure. I think he's pretty decent. I can't wait to get to the other figures and see if they hold up or maybe increase the bar, raise the bar. But I like him. I think he looks pretty cool. I like his gun. I like his holster, even though it looks super dorky. I just love the way he looks, you know? As a character I know nothing about, I think he adds to the collection. That's really what matters here. Does he add to the collection? I think he does. So I'm super happy about that. Let me know what you guys think of him down in the comments below. Of course, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. All the things YouTubers ask you to do, just do it for me as well. And I will be back with another video, hopefully very soon. Bye.